the biggest miracle ever? You say, feeding 5,000. Was it the resurrection? All of those miracles that Jesus performed, and he performed scads of miracles. He was constantly healing people. Read the Gospel of Mark, and you will see he goes from healing to healing to healing, crowd after crowd, people gathering, heal us, we need healing. He was constantly performing miracles, and they were all spectacular and instantaneous, with the exception of one, the blind man who couldn't see, just like the disciples, but that was a tale for them. Otherwise, healing was always complete, on the spot, whether the person had faith or not. But permit me to suggest to you, as great as all of the miracles are in the Bible, the biggest miracle of all is the incarnation. That the infinite, the God who is omnipresent, the second person of the Trinity, stuffed himself into a human body. That is the biggest miracle ever.
What we celebrate at Christmas is not so much the birth of a baby, as important as that is, but what's so significant about the birth of that particular baby is that in this birth, we have the incarnation of God himself. And incarnation means a coming in the flesh. We know how John begins his gospel. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So in that very complicated introductory statement, he distinguishes between the Word and God, and then in the next breath identifies the two. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. And then at the end of the prologue, he says, and the Word became flesh and dwelt among us.
Okay, I know I'm supposed to be talking about the incarnation. Look at the size of that beastie pulpit. R.C. Sproul actually has theology, some thinking behind a massive pulpit. The bigger the pulpit, the smaller the man, the more authority that is coming from God. Hence the really cool pulpit. Did you catch what R.C. Sproul said? When we sing about the baby being born in a manger, oh yeah, we're dealing with an actual baby, but we are also talking about God becoming flesh. Let us do some theological math, shall we? Was the incarnation a subtraction on God's part, or was it an addition?
Now, in this enfleshment, if you will, of Christ appearing on this planet, it's not that God suddenly changes through a metamorphosis into a man, so that the divine nature sort of passes out of existence or comes into a new form of fleshiness. No, the incarnation is not so much a subtraction as it is an addition, where the eternal second person of the Trinity takes upon himself a human nature and joins his divine nature to that human nature for the purpose of redemption.
The incarnation was addition, but not subtraction, unless, of course, what?
Unless, of course, your word of faith.
Which says?
That Jesus ceased to be God when he was on the earth.
Ah.
And therefore, he was exactly like us, and we can do the miracles.
Which you know, no, you know what, I get that, but what
Right.
makes me bonkers about that really bad kenosis understanding is that they could still claim that we can do the same miracles of Jesus because of the way Jesus did the miracles. It just, you don't even need to go there. But going there is to be a heretic. If we say that Jesus was not fully God while being fully man, the church, from its inception, has said, you are outside of orthodoxy. There are people in the name it and claim it sect of Christianity that would say, no, 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 no. When Jesus emptied himself, They don't think it's his divine privileges. They think it's his divinity that he emptied himself of, so that they can point to all of those miracles Jesus did and say, you can do those too, because he was just like you. That is entirely unnecessary, because we have the same power source that Jesus Christ, the man, tapped into to perform all of the miracles, and that is the Holy Spirit. To claim that Jesus wasn't divine is to claim, I'm outside of Christ.
What is emptied is glory, privilege, exaltation. Jesus, in the incarnation, makes himself of no reputation. He allows his own divine, exalted standing to be subjected to human hostility and human criticism and denial. He took the form of a bondservant, and coming in the likeness of men. This is an amazing thing, that he doesn't just come as a man, he comes as a slave. He comes in a station that carries with it no exaltation, no dignity, only indignity. And being found in appearance as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient even to the point of death, the shameful death of the cross.
That is a proper understanding of Philippians 2, Jesus emptying himself. It is not to suggest he was not divine. Jesus Christ was fully man and fully God. And so while he was a man, not aware of every single event that was going to take place, a man who had to learn and eat and rest at the same time, his divine nature upholding the universe by the word of his power. In the 4th century, the Athanasian Creed makes that clear. So too in the 5th century did the Chalcedonian Creed. If we do not understand the ontological nature of Jesus Christ correctly, we do not have Jesus. Two thoughts for your consideration. Number one, do you understand the divine and human nature not mixing and mingling, totally separate and yet in one body, operating the universe and yet acting as a bondservant? Is your Christology correct? It's kind of important. 1 John 2, well, John 5, 2 John 9. If we don't understand Christ right, we don't have Christ. Thought number two for your consideration as you go about the business of celebrating Christmas this year, make sure that you remember you are celebrating the greatest miracle ever.